Question of the day. What is your favorite sci-fi genre, atmosphere, location, locale? I don't know. Star Wars, Star Trek, all of the above. Battlestar Galactica. Somebody let me know in the comments below what their favorite bit of sci-fi is. Somebody say maybe it's the Isaac Asimov. What's the big giant thing that Coruscant's definitely based on? Anyway, someone let me know in the comments below that too. But today we're looking at a game all about space and space opera and just beautiful, beautiful art called Imperius in the Dune universe. No, it's not actually, but my goodness, this dude has Paul Atreides' eyes. I don't know if it's officially supposed to, but either way, we're going to take a look at Imperius. It is a card drafting, slight blind programming game all about becoming the Emperor of the Dawn Throne. Right now. So this is Imperius, and yes, I did want to point out the art in these planets is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at that. Doesn't that it speaks to me. I love it. It reminds me of, well, the obvious, it reminds me of Dune, but it reminds me of, what's the game? Anachrony. So really beautiful art. I love stuff like that. It's just so good looking, right? So art alone is nice. You've got markers for your team color. You're going to put them on your board. You've got a marker that marks casualties, as well as you have a marker that marks points. There are other tokens that you may or may not use depending on how you play the game. But control tokens are scored at the end of the game. That's just something on your sheet where you control certain planets. Your goal is to get 20 points. Obviously, that's what triggers the end of the game, but your goal is to have the most points at the end of the game, so clearly you can go up above 20 points. You will start the game by choosing, first of all, you're going to get a deck of cards with the house of your choice, but you're going to choose one of the elders. Now, you can use the basic elders, or you can use some of these more, look at that, it's a Sith. You can use some of these more special elders, the Elder of Nullification, and so these have special powers. It recommends you don't use these your first time. Once you've chosen your elder, you're going to take the rest of the cards, things like the ambassadors, the nobles, the assassins, the commanders, and you're going to shuffle them up and make one deck. Then you're going to start distributing the cards out to the players. You're going to deal a certain number of players, a certain number of cards to the players. And then you're going to start drafting the cards. Now, the whole point of drafting is because you're eventually going to start laying cards on these planets. Some of them will be face up. Some of them will be face down. It's interesting. The ones that work with certain symbols go face up. Others go face down. You'll see the symbol here. So that one's face up, have to be face up. So as the cards get laid out there, they're going to be laid out to where there's enough on the planet. Well, then what you do is you rearrange them in initiative order, which means that they're all going to trigger based on the actual initiative of the card. So let's just say you were to have a combination something like this. Well, then you would rearrange them to where the cards play in order, and then you reveal them and resolve them. So basically what happens is everything gets resolved. Points are taken per you. Now, here's the thing. These numbers here would be certain powers that are beneficial to a house. So if a house has the most strength on it, then certain things are going to say, hey, to the one who has strength, give it this. It says if you have the F number of the most of that on this planet, score 3 victory points. So if this house has the most of this number total on the planet, score 3 victory points. Ties are unfriendly. They're never friendly. So no one gets the points if you're tied. So you kind of want to make sure that you're strategically laying those cards out there in a way that will hopefully garner you the most points based on what you've drafted. So it is a drafting game. It is a very, very simple game in which you're drafting and taking control of these planets. You'll mark control of the planets down here when you get them, but you'll also score victory points based on what's down here as well. So you'll score victory points based on what it shows on the planets too. So just interesting game mechanics there, but I mean, all of these do different certain powers at the bottom of the deck. So what's going to happen is once these cards start going out there, it feels a little bit like programming in the sense that you're putting cards out there hoping that you're going to have the best result from it, but you never know what your opponent's going to do. They might have something that acts before you and you can't see it because it's a face down card. A couple rules though: you can never have more than 2 face down cards on any planet unless there's a special card that allows you to. You can never have more than 5 cards on each planet. So interesting little kind of backstabbery, planning, reading your opponent type of game that definitely looks like Dune. I know I'm going to feel embarrassed if I look in the rule book very carefully, which I've looked before, and it says like, hey, this is from Frank Herbert's, but I really feel like this is just inspired by the world of sci-fi, Dune, all this sort of stuff. So interesting game, has a lot of interesting aspects to it with all the different powers and planets and things that key off this. It says do not resolve events deployed to this planet, so that's just kind of strange for that planet. This one says after cards are revealed on this planet, force on this planet may discard one card on this planet, so you can get rid of someone else's card there. So interesting how everything kind of plays off of each other. So this one was kind of sleeper. I didn't see it out a lot of places, but man, it's gorgeous, and it's got some neat mechanics. Let's talk final thoughts right now. So that's Imperius. Neat mechanics there. First of all, let's talk art. This is the most beautiful looking art I've seen in a long time. This would be from the Gong Studios. Now that may or may not be the very people who did some of the work on Anachrony. I'm going to have to look that up because I said it reminded me of Anachrony, and all of a sudden that's ringing some bells. But absolutely gorgeous art. If you're an art fan in games, buy this game for the art alone. It is so good. Those planetscapes. I would love to have posters of those planetscapes, especially this one that's on this side of the box. I just love that. It looks phenomenal. So, mechanics-wise, though, it's a blind programming game. What do I mean by that? Well, you're drafting, you're getting cards to your hand that you may or may not think will benefit you, and they're going to play those very cards out, but they may not come out and play exactly like you want them to play based on how other people set their cards up. Now, the thing is, though, when I say that, I don't mean it's take that. I mean, you're not like, ha, you loser, you played this card, now I'm going to play this card. No, everything's set up and programmed. So that's why I say it's blind programming. Everyone's playing these cards out there. Some of them are face-ups. You do have a relatively good idea of what a few of the cards are going to be, but at least two of them are face down, which could totally jack up everything you've done. So I find that mechanic interesting. It's not something that I'm going to want to sit down and play all the time, though, because I like to just, if I'm going to draft, I want to draft and I want to get the best cards that I can. I like a Seven Wonders style or It's a Wonderful Life sort of style, a Wonderful World sort of style game where I know that the cards I'm getting absolutely benefit me. Versus, well, this might work in certain situations, but unfortunately I don't know those situations. So that is, in fact, pretty much all there is to it, though. I mean, you're drafting these cards, putting them out there, hoping that your initiative order's better, hoping that your strength and your F number, the blue number, are better, so that you can win those victory points and hopefully come out on top. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's a blind drafting programming game. So there is that's really it. I mean, honestly, it's gorgeous, but it's pretty straightforward and simple with its mechanics. So if that's your bag, more of that kind of just any card game is good, any kind of mechanics in a card game is good. This one does have some twist to it, then this one's definitely for you. But if you're like me and you want to play something a little bit meatier that feels like you have more control over your situations, this may not be for you then. So that is Imperius from Colossal Games. I'm Bryan Drake here on the Dice Tower. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, etc. at Dice Tower Bryan. And until next time, we'll see you.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.